Good afternoon, everybody. This is Jason O. It is Saturday, 6:22. We have a nice little 8-gamer at 4:05 Eastern time. Had some extra time, so figured I'd run through the slate and just see some early thoughts. And yeah, we've had some really good wins in the Discord lately. It's been very exciting to see, and let's keep the momentum going. So first thing first, we're going to start with the Masters table as always. So we're going to sort by average matchup trend. Have our yellow notes here as always. So Mets not on the slate, Washington on the slate. Baltimore, wow, that's a very, very good, sign for Baltimore right now. Matchup trend looks really good. They're supposed to be trending for a lot of fantasy points. They're the third best matchup of the entire day, and they're not too dependent on opposing pitching strength to get there. Then there's Minnesota. That should not be bolded out. Minnesota, Tampa Bay, Cleveland, and then let's see if there's anybody else. Arizona. Sorry if you hear my dog in the background. And we'll throw Philly in there too, just because it's a 8-game slate, so we need to find teams. So these are the teams that are in the best matchup to really produce fantasy points. When we sort by trending, let's see if anybody else pops. Baltimore, as we said before, Boston very high, in Cincinnati. We'll add Boston to that list of teams to consider. You see Arizona, you see Tampa Bay. Okay, Minnesota again, and Seattle down here against Miami. Miami's actually been a little bit of a tougher matchup, it seems, which is interesting. So we'll look into that, and then last but not least, the matchup. Actually, we'll look at the pitching strength too. But trending for fantasy points, yeah, Houston. Right away, I'm going to have a lot of interest probably in Baltimore today. Just to at least look at them. I don't know if I'm definitely going to play them, but I'm going to have a lot of interest in finding out if they're a team I should be playing. And then when you look at opposing pitcher strength needs, Kansas City on the slate today against Texas, the least dependent one on the slate in regards to fantasy points. They don't need to face bad pitching to unlock their ceiling. Same thing with Pittsburgh. Baltimore, all signs pointing to Baltimore right now. That's really good. All right, so those are the teams we have right now that we want to consider: Baltimore, Minnesota, Tampa Bay, Cleveland, Arizona, Philly, and Boston. Now, let's take a look at the bullpens for today. I already sorted for the slate. When you sort by expected batting average, Arizona, the nut worst, Kansas City, Toronto, Miami, Texas here. In regards to expected slugging, Toronto, Arizona, KC, Tampa Bay. Weighted on base average, Toronto, KC, Arizona. As of right now, I'm thinking these are three teams we want to attack against: Toronto, KC, Arizona. You have Texas here too. Obviously, they're going up against KC, and they've been a terrible bullpen. Tampa Bay, Miami. A lot of routine names here at the top. There's not really much of a difference between them. So right away, I'm already thinking, Cleveland, which we have on our list, Texas, which we didn't put on our list, but, we'll add them here because if they can get through the starting pitcher, they're going to have a chance to produce a lot of fantasy points. And also, let's throw Arizona in there. Tagging Arizona, that's Philly. I got a really weird feeling that Philly, Baltimore are probably going to look good on the scoring percentages test when we get there. Now let's take a look at the handedness. I already sorted it by slate. When you sort by expected slugging, you have John Gray. Wow. Woof. Bad to the left-hand side of the plate. He has a very high true average, as tied for the highest in the slate. Highest expected slugging on the slate. Expected batting average is dog shit. He's giving up a lot of home runs. He should be giving up more. He's got a pretty high, expected home run per plate appearance. Overall, this is a lot. These are a lot of home runs that should be given up to the left-hand side of the plate. But we saw here John Gray. We have Sean Anderson going against Seattle. I know they strike out a lot, but true average is okay, but should be a much, much higher. I think this number is going to come up just based on the expected slugging. You have Ronel Blanco. We said we really want to maybe look at Baltimore today. They have some really great lefties everybody knows. Look at this home run regression. Look at that. He should have given up 100% increase. We should see 100% increase in the home runs he should be giving up. That's fucking wild. He's striking out some people. That's okay. But his true average isn't bad. I know his true average isn't great, but his expected batting average is fine. This is wild. This is wild. So Baltimore, we're definitely going to bold them. We're going to bold them out with all the good lefties they have. Keep going. Frankie Montez going against Boston. Um, yeah, they have really good lefties there too, as you know. But here, you granted he's giving him some power. He's walking a lot of people, so you don't like to see that. His expected batting average should be higher, but he's not giving up a lot of home runs. Interesting. Maybe you want to attack him. Tommy Henry, Philly's got some great lefties. Harper, Schwarber, Stott, if he ever wants to stop being a little fuckboy, could also do well. But true average, not great. Jose Berrios, as we know. Look at this. Oh, woof. Woof. Oh, that's bad. And Toronto's bullpen's terrible. Cleveland's got some of the best lefties in baseball. Yeah, this is just screaming Cleveland stack too. As we go through a little bit more, you have Zach Wheeler, expected slugging, who should be giving up some home runs. I don't know if they have the lefties to maybe take care of him though and do that. Maybe you have Ketel Marte, but I don't know. Jock Peterson, maybe you want to take some one-offs or minis. That's fine. Um, then down here to about league average, Ben Lively, Pivetta, Jared Jones. Pivetta striking out quite a few people, walking people. Same with Jared Jones. Go to expected home runs. Jose Berrios. Jesus Christ, that's terrible. Zach Wheeler. We have Pivetta. And Pivetta's going to see some lefties today. He's going to see probably Friedel. He's going to see Benson. He's going to see Fraley. He's going to see Ellie. Candelario, who's been fucking red hot. Wouldn't be surprised if we see Cincinnati grade out a little bit better. I'm going to add Cincinnati to the list just because a lot of their really good bats are left-handed. As you go down to, John Gray, Ronel Blanco, we know is terrible against lefties, it seems. John Gray, a lot of power, but they don't have a ton of lefties there. And Vinny P, maybe. Logan Gilbert, maybe you want to take a Sanchez or somebody against him. Fine. Ben Lively, Toronto has no really great lefties, so that's okay. And Bailey Ober, and then the rest is kind of middling. We go to the right-handed side. Let's see if we have anything here. Expected slugging, Sean Anderson again against Seattle. I wonder if that's a sample size thing. I want to look at that, but a 4% K rate's really abysmal. A lot of high average, high expected slugging, high expected batting average. These home runs should probably come up. Maybe we look at Seattle today. Tommy Henry against Philly. Yeah, this is not good. He's going to see some really good right-handed bats too. Alec Boehm being one of them. Maybe Nick Castellanos. Let me see. Is that? Oh yeah, the lineup's in. Okay. Starting lineup for Philly. Oh yeah, Schwarber, Trey Turner, Harper, Baum, Castellanos. Sosa's been okay. Marchand's been good. Yeah, this is murderer's row. Philly's getting a bold. The Philly's getting a bold today. Somebody you probably want to stack. Get back to here. Then it drops off to Bailey Ober. Bailey Ober's interesting, man. He had a really good performance against Oakland last time, but he's striking them out. He's striking out right-handed bats at a decent clip. He's got a pretty high walk rate. His batting average is exactly where it should be, but he's given up power and he's given up a lot of home runs. He's given up quite a bit of power. This kind of makes me think we want to maybe take a look at Brent Rooker and some of these other guys. Jared Jones, it's high expected slugging, not striking people out. Here, high expected batting average. Should be giving up some more home runs. Yeah, Jared Jones, maybe you want to look at Tampa Bay. And John Gray against KC, not giving up a lot of power here, but he should be giving up more than he is. He's striking out a lot of people, and he's walking nobody. I don't know why San Diego is populated. They are not on the slate. And then you have JP Sears, who we just saw just get fucking teed off on in this matchup last time. The Minnesota righties, you're probably going to want to look at them. Put that as a note, but we're going to bold out Minnesota. And God damn it, James. You can see here Logan Gilbert giving up a lot of it too. Maybe some Miami minis you look at. So, all right. And then Eflin, who's striking people out. Okay, there we go. Back to fucking normal. Zach Eflin and then Berrios. So Berrios looking like both sides of the plate are giving him some problems. Yeah, that's okay. Full stack in play against Cleveland. I already bolded them. It's good to know. All right, expected home runs. JP Sears, we just talked about that. Zach fucking Wheeler. Holy shit, that's bad. That's really bad. I don't know if I want Arizona, but I want to look into Arizona. So that's one thing I'm very curious about now. Corbin Burns, that's pretty high for Corbin Burns. Eflin, we just talked about. Ronel Blanco, both sides of the plate, fucking fire up Baltimore. Like, oh. Jared Jones. We got some guys that should be seeing some home run regression. So what that tells me is we maybe need to look into some more of these offenses than you maybe normally would consider. I get that some of these guys might have good underlying stats, but there's a lot of people due to give up some power. So one thing I've been doing, and I know I said this in the last video, is I do like to sort the hitters tab first by teams. I want to grab everybody on the slate, and I want to just see in their projected lineup how much maybe they're striking out, what their expected batting average is, how much slugging they're supposed to have in this split. In this split, I said split. Fuck me. In this matchup, Philly, Pitt, Seattle, Tampa Bay, Toronto, Texas, and I think I'm missing one team. Yeah, Houston. There we go. So let's do sort by current team stats. So first we start by K percentage. Oakland, no surprise. Big strikeout matchup. Seattle, no surprise. Cincinnati, I said this yesterday when I wanted to play Cutter Crawford. He actually ended up doing okay. At the end he did give up an earned run that probably hurt his ceiling a little bit. But overall, not bad. Getting followed by KC, Houston. And they get a lot of teams here that aren't striking out as much of a team. So tough pitching slate, it seems. Expected batting average, Baltimore. Love to see that. I was on them as soon as we looked at the sheets. Baltimore, Minnesota, Philly, Houston, Tampa Bay, Oakland. We've now seen Tampa Bay as a team that maybe we should be bolding and considering. Jared Jones, both sides of the plate, not striking out a lot of people, should be giving up a lot more power. We're going to take a look at Tampa Bay. And then Oakland, expected batting average, Boston, Miami, Cleveland, and then at the bottom, you have Cincinnati, who shouldn't. This is very encouraging for Nick Pivetta, but they are in a terrible ballpark. Sean Anderson against Seattle seems like he's in a favorable split. John Gray against Kansas City, favorable split, I suppose. And then you have Michael Wacha against Texas, favorable split here. And Pittsburgh. So when you sort by expected slugging, Baltimore, fuck yeah. Philly, makes sense. Minnesota. Oakland, that's pretty wild. Oakland, the fourth highest expected slugging on the slate as a team today. Boston also, followed by Houston, Tampa Bay, which is very high. And then you have Miami, Cleveland, everybody who's kind of at the league average. The most home run for plate appearances, no shock, Baltimore, followed by Tampa Bay, Minnesota, Philly, and then Oakland. That's pretty crazy. We're gonna add Oakland to a maybe. I know that's a lot of teams, but when you have a lot of pitchers that are not that are expected to have some really bad regression, this could really be a difference maker. All right, stack finder is loading. Let's see what we get here for the 5-man stack finder on DK. Yep, Philly. That makes sense. Some Arizona. We said that before with Wheeler's home run problems. So just Philly, Arizona right now. That's interesting. We sort by pitching projections. Zach Eflin. That makes sense, given Pittsburgh's poor projected expected stats in the split. Bailey Ober, because of the K percentage probably, but could be giving up power. Corbin Burns, Logan Gilbert, John Gray. Sort by ceiling. Same thing. Not much different. When you sort by 20 plus, Zach Eflin, you kind of start and end with Zach Eflin, honestly, especially if you're going to be playing some small field. I think that's a really good way to go to get some of these bats in. 6,800 is way too cheap for a pitcher who's done well for us in the past like that. Then it's Corbin Burns, Bailey Ober, John Gray, followed by Logan Gilbert, Wacha. This is a really gross pitching slate. Even when you sort by most expensive, like Wheeler projects like dog shit, Blanco, dog shit, Gilbert, dog shit, but considering for the slate, you have to consider him, and same for Corbin Burns. Jared Jones, dog shit. Ben Lively, it's okay. There is one pitcher above 8K that has a 2x median projection. What does that tell me? You probably don't want to pay up. You can if you want to, and if you want to play the ownership game, you can. sorted by ownership. Logan Gilbert against Miami. Everybody likes to attack the Marlins. Minnesota. Real leverage you can get here with Oakland today. I want to see that lineup, but that seems like some real leverage you can gain. Excuse me. Zach Wheeler, high owns. Corbin Burns, tough matchup with Houston, obviously, and Pavetta. You have Zach Eflin all the way down here, highest projected pitcher at fairly decently low ownership. Jared Jones down here, and then you got the rest of them. Michael Wacha is a great value against Texas. That looks pretty good. Frankie Montes, you can consider him too. Ben Lively, not great. And then, Tommy Henry's a fucking bum, and so is J.P. Sears. So right away, I'm thinking if I'm going, chalky stacks, like I'm starting with Walker and I'm starting with F1, and I'm just loading up on bats. That's what I'm saying today. We look at the outcome model here. Let's refresh it just in case I missed a run since I started. Philly by far, Minnesota, Arizona, Baltimore. Philly. Okay. Yep. And even they're still positively leveraged too. Here, Philly. It's great. Ronell, Baltimore. It's exactly what I thought. No ownership coming in on Baltimore, probably because of their pricing, but overall still pretty good. Great leverage. Arizona against Zach Wheeler. Those home run power splits are dangerous. They're nasty. And Minnesota against Sears, some ownership. The worst leverage team today is Toronto against Ben Lively, by Boston against Frankie Montes, KC against John Gray, and Tampa Bay against Jared Jones. The most positively leveraged team is Arizona. Teams are Arizona, Oakland, Baltimore, Miami, Cleveland, Houston, Texas, and Philly. Just because they're so negatively leveraged does not mean that you need to fade them. What it means is that at their current ownership, that's how much of the field they're gaining. They're gonna, if they do well, that you're gonna gain on the field. So you can mix and match these teams. If you have a vindication about Boston, you have a vindication about Toronto, play them. But make sure you play them with a team like Baltimore, like Arizona, like Texas, like Cleveland, anybody like that, to help balance yourself. Contest Sims, we don't have it for the main slate, for the early slate, so we'll get rid of that. Now we're going to do an auto run really quick and see. I'm playing the 150 3-entry max on DraftKings today. It's a 200-person field. Small field, I like to do projected ceiling and points. See what it gives me. Yeah, with no parameters, it gave me a 5-man Phillies stack. You should probably fucking play the Phillies today and don't even think about it. We're going to set it to 99, still a big enough slate. Again, 5-3, 5-2. If you want to do 4-3, be my guest. I'm going to leave it in today because it's kind of a smaller slate than we had the last few days. Run it again. Yeah. And this is a very important point here. Everybody, when they're hand building, the biggest misconception that people think is that they have to get the biggest bats in the lineup, into their lineup at all costs. Otherwise, they will not do well. That's true in a sense. You want to get the best batters, but you really want to just maximize the value. These projections are not just figured out by the individual batters, power, his metrics and everything. It's also where he is in the lineup compared to other people. And if the people around him have a chance to do well, so does he. So I know Pablo and James were talking about it this morning regarding the catchers. If you're building 5-man's man, catchers are your best friend. They really, really are, especially when they're so dirt cheap. You definitely should always do that, especially because the top of the lineup usually has really good hitting options for you to use. Just make it a little wraparound. It's what I've done a bunch of times too, and you really shouldn't fight it. So right here, 5-man Phillies, we're going to make this 100 lineups. We're going to set our max player exposure to 60, and we're going to set our max 5-man to 20, and we're going to set our max 4-man to, let's do 40%. I want to get more 5-mans in than 4-man, so let's let that run. While we're doing that, let's go take a look at some individual bats for today. Okay, the first team we want to look into, Baltimore. The one we said before that we really wanted to look into. So Baltimore. I look at the expected batting average. Yeah, fucking every single hitter in their lineup, besides Mullins and Cowser, are above average hitters in this split. Their expected slugging is fucking stupid. Every single person besides Cedric Mullins is way above league average, and Cedric Mullins is pretty close to being there. There's only one guy who's K'ing a decent amount. Everybody else is not striking out a lot. Stolen base upside, you have someone Gunnar Henderson, Westberg, and Cowser. X home run for plate appearance, elite numbers. Santander, Gunnar Henderson, Ryan Mountcastle, Urias, Colton Cowser. Event for play appearance, also sick. What this is telling me is you can play 1 through 9 in Baltimore's lineup today, and you can really make yourself a good stack. Baltimore, fuck yeah. Just lock and load. Don't even think about it. I kind of don't even care how they grade out here. I know that Philly seems a lot better, but still. Fucking just lock and load Baltimore. They're going to get an italices as a team that, yep, they're making our builds today. Let's take a look at Philly now because, big score, Tommy Henry, probably either shitty bullpen, if I remember correctly. Yep, very shitty bullpen. So let's go back here to Philly. All right, expected batting average in the split. Yeah, a lot of guys looking good here. Turner, Sosa, Schwarber, Baum, Castellanos. They followed by Harper, and then everybody down here. Expected slugging, Trey Turner, Castellanos. This is crazy. Probably just a small sample size because he's returned, but that's fucking stupid. That's also fucking stupid. That's really stupid. That makes sense with Schwarber and Harper. You can make a nice little stack here. And also you could do a little wraparound too. Pache is looking pretty decent here from a slugging percentage. K percentage, yeah, they got some guys that are K-ing, but Tommy Henry, fucking bum. We're not worried. Home run plate, expected home run, Castellanos, Schwarber, Turner, Sosa, Harper. This is pretty crazy. They have a lot of upside here. Their event for plate appearance is really good. They have some decent stolen base upside if these guys get on. Yeah, Philly, 100% buying the projection, buying the score, buying everything on them. I'm buying high. I'm buying low. I'm buying Philly today. Let's take a look at Cleveland because I know Berrios is a guy that looked like he was giving up power to both sides of the plate. We think of Cleveland as a team with not a ton of power, but they seem to be a team that they're pesky. Almost like a better Nationals, if you will, with more talent. Steven Kwan has been fucking so good. Brennan, Naylor, Schneemann, Jimenez. J-Rom low, but it's Jose fucking Ramirez. You don't care. Expected slugging, very good for Josh Naylor, Brennan, Steve Kwan, Schneemann, Ramirez. Yeah, they got a good little 5 here that are above average in expected slugging in the split. I know they do like to run the bases a lot. Andres Jimenez, Jose Ramirez. And there's some guys that are close too. Angel Martinez, 22,000. That probably locks up. That opens up a lot for you if you need it. Jimenez, mainstay in the lineup. K percentage, Bo Naylor is the only one striking out a ton. He can help. You can work with him if you want to put him in. But I don't even think you need to. I think outside of the top 4, these guys are really cheap, so you can make some interesting stacks here. Home run plate appearance, Naylor, Ramirez, Brennan. This is pretty good. No, they look pretty good. I'm gonna give them an italices that I probably want to put them in a build, but we're gonna see. We're gonna go look at Tampa Bay now. This is one that we were seeing. Jared Jones seems to be giving up quite a bit. Yeah, guys are supposed to be hitting the ball well. They're supposed to be getting on base, supposed to be getting hits. You love to see that. Expected slugging, Josh Lowe. Yeah, that's pretty crazy. Yandy Diaz, insane. Brandon Lau, Arozarena, Vert. Yeah, these are very good power numbers for a team, especially these 4, and even these. Make a little wraparound stack with Rortvert. I know didn't he hit a grand slam like a week or 2 ago too? So he's got power. We could deal with that. Isaac Paredes, who we know hits home runs. Caballero, DeLuca, K percentage. They got some guys that are striking out. That's all right though. Expected home run plate appearance low. Paredes, Rortvert, Palacios, Rosarena. They got a lot of guys look like they could hit home runs. Stolen base upside of Caballero gets on. He's taken off. Rosarena low. Palacios. Event for PA. Yeah, really close to a lot of guys close to 10 and 2 above. Tampa Bay makes a ton of sense. But let me just check one thing first. See, they're trending. They're trending well. It's a good matchup. Their matchup A+ trend is pretty good. seem to be really needing bad starting pitching to unlock their ceiling. So I think that that's something you can maybe exploit today. If you think Jared Jones is good, I think you should maybe, not maybe reconsider Tampa Bay. If you think he sucks, play him. Let's go take a look at Jared Jones in Fangraphs. All right. So far, 2024, Jared Jones, ERA 3.82, his xFIP should be lower. It's pretty good. All these projection sites like Streamer Zips, the bat, they had a little bit higher than it should be. I don't think he's played enough to get a full long range xFIP on him. But let's take a look and just see if there's anything may pick up to give some of his power numbers some credence. Okay. Does not want to load. Okay. All right. So here are the splits for this. He's given up the same amount of home runs to both sides of the plate. All right. 6 home runs both sides of the plate. He's walking more lefties, and then sides only a seven batter sample size difference between lefties and righties here. Average is about the same. Base percentage is a little worse against lefties. Slugging is a little worse against lefties, and his weighted on base average is definitely a little bit worse against lefties. Here too. I mean to scroll that far. Stupid fucking mouse. Because I'm having technical difficulties today, I'm definitely winning all the money today. That's just how it goes. So his K through 9 against lefties seems very, very high. It seems like he's striking out lefties. Average there, whip is his xFIP should be a little bit lower, and also against righties, his FIP should be a little bit lower. His xFIP should be a little bit lower. So he should be seeing some positive regression coming soon. Not enough where I think if you want to attack him and you still think you can definitely do it. You can definitely do it. But let me just check ground ball rates. If this wants to load. Fucking stupid technology. Stupid technology. I got to get a new computer. But yeah, we are. I'm going to leave Tampa Bay as a bold. I'm not going to italicize them. I think that I saw enough things from Jared Jones, that makes me think that maybe I want to think twice. Let's take a look at Arizona, especially against Wheeler. Wheeler from the right-handed side. Actually, we'll start with the left. From the left-handed side, yeah, it's supposed to be giving up more power. Not a big average. Strikeout upside's okay. Not great. Same thing against Wheeler here. Kind of higher against the right-handed side. He should be giving up a lot more home runs. So we got some righty power. All right, in the split against righties, Grichuk, Peterson, Carroll. Yeah, they got some guys that should be hitting the ball. Yeah, Barnhart's going to strike out. Suarez, we fucking know he strikes out all the time. And Walker's going to strike out. Everybody else a lot lower. Expected slugging. Against Zach fucking Wheeler. Walker, Peterson, Grichuk, Suarez, Corbin Carroll, Ketel Marte. They got some dudes today, man. Expected home run plate appearance. This is still decent. Peterson, Walker, Grichuk, Suarez, Marte, McCarthy. Event for PA appearance. Yeah, McCarthy gets on. He's going to probably steal a bag. We know Corbin Carroll loves to run. Christian Walker probably goes yard today. Probably not a bad bet to hit a home run today. Let me go look at. I want to just see Philly against Arizona. Sorry, Arizona against Philly, I should say. Yeah, Arizona's trending well. The matchup is one of the better ones for today on the slate. And yeah, the matchup trend is pretty positive, and they don't need to face great pitching to do it. Can't believe I'm saying this. Arizona, you're getting the bold and you're getting the italices. fucking Chalk Wheeler's about to pay. But I'm going to stop that there for reviewing today. Let's go look at what the optimizer gave us. Yep, all the Philly in the world, Arizona, Minnesota, Cincinnati, minis, Baltimore 5-mans. So today, if you're playing small field, high dollar, you probably want to focus your efforts Philly, Arizona, Baltimore, and Minnesota. And I know Minnesota's probably going to look really good in the sheets, so I'll italicize them, but we'll take a look before we leave, actually, at them. But yeah, and you have some Miami minis. We talked about the power with Gilbert. Oakland, you have some, against Ober for pitching. Yeah, Eflin, exactly what I was talking about. Look at the pay down options are popping the most. Pay down at pitcher today. Just pay down. If you want to pay up, that's okay. I wouldn't. Just pay down. Look at Minnesota, and then we are done. All right. So Minnesota, yeah, look at these numbers against JP Sears. Farmer, we know he's going to get pinch hit for, but that's okay. Correa, Santana, switch hitter is going to stay in the game. Margot, Buxton, yeah, fucking fire up Minnesota, man. This is an easier slate to figure out. You want to pay down at pitching, and you want to pay up at offense. And actually, since we have some time, we have about 2.5 hours before lock. Let's go through a little bit of a sample build. All right, I'm also playing a satellite this morning. So first, let's take a look at the pitchers again, just from a projection standpoint. Yep, Eflin, Ober, Burns, Gilbert, Waka. But for value, Waka. See, to me, I know you want to play ownership and you want to do things that maybe, you want to over leverage your lineup and stuff of that. And you want to look at things that way. But to me, there is no fucking reason why you should be playing Logan Gilbert, Bailey Ober, when you have guys like Michael Waka and John Gray and Eflin that are projecting similar or if not better at their salaries. There's just no point. There's no point to pay up. So we're going to do a little quick build. We're going to go start with Zach Eflin first. It seems like that's the guy who's projected the best. Pittsburgh, expected lineup. And Pittsburgh can be scary because they could beat up on an opposing pitcher. But decent bats here. Middling, A lot of low numbers here. Expected slugging, yeah, they got some good guys who can get him, like McCutcheon, Reynolds, and Cruz. A lot of strikeouts, a lot of strikeout upside here. We'll start with Eflin first. See if anything changed. Stack analysis too. Probably not. Probably gonna give me Philly and Arizona again. Philly, Arizona. Yep. All right. So I really, really like Baltimore. That's a team that I'm going to just start building with today. I know we don't have their lineup yet, but for the purpose of the video, it's what we're going to be doing. So when I go look at Baltimore here, I want to match up expected slugging with expected slugging and home runs with home runs. Think of it like a puzzle piece. So take Houston here against righties. He's striking them out, walking. He's walking a lot of guys. His expected slugging is pretty low, but when he gets hit, he should be giving up home runs. It's just that it's the left-handed side, striking people out. Walks are fine. True average, not good. Expected slugging, not good. Should be giving up a lot of home runs. So he should be giving up a lot of slugging to lefties, higher slugging to lefties, and more home runs to righties. You can stack up any way you want. But here, Santander, Henderson, Westberg, right away, we're going to go Henderson. We're going to go Santander. We're going to go... Shit, where'd I go? Go Westberg. Can go Urias because he's cheap, so he gives us some affordable flexibility within the stack. And let's go with, for our purposes, we'll play some Ryan O'Hearn too. We'll put him at first base first and see how we can make him work. So right here, we have these three. Um, in regards to the mini stack now, maybe we want to add Baltimore's catchers in, but honestly, Rushman's very, very expensive, so I don't know how much you're gaining. But let's see. Some of the teams we talked about here: Boston, Texas, Cincinnati, Cleveland, Tampa Bay, Philly. Take a look at Philly. Yep, Philly's catcher's very, very cheap. Marchand, 9-1 correlation with him. And Pache, 891 correlation. You could play the $9,900 pitcher if you want to. You can play Blanco, anybody. I don't really want to do that. We're paying the fuck down. We're going to go here. And now we have Marchand, Pache. We have 5,900. I could take a very good one off. Alvarez, you want to take Steven Kwan, Duran. You give yourself so much flexibility here. But let me try actually now, because if I'm going to go with this pitching combination, let me see if I can get an expensive Baltimore lineup. Or maybe not expensive. Maybe I can get some other pieces. Rutschman's down here in comparison to the rest of the lineup. He's still a great play, but you don't have to play Rutschman. I'm gonna keep it. I'm gonna keep it as was. So we're gonna go Henderson, Westberg, Santander. We're gonna go Urias, and we're gonna go with Ryan O'Hearn. But let me try putting O'Hearn actually in the outfield for a second. Now we can go. Where's Philly? Marchand, Harper, Schwarber. Schwarber is a little too pricey. 6,300 is a lot for any batter. I know Bryce Harper has been, very good, but still a lot. You pay down at pitcher, at first base. You could really do whatever you want here. You just have so much flexibility. But I think I like O'Hearn better here. And then you have 5,900. You want to play fucking Steven Kwan. Be my guest. Do whatever you want. Even if you 8, 9, 5, that's okay. But so you could do Philly in a one-off. Let's say you're looking at that and you say, you know what, Jason, I really like Tampa Bay today. I think it's somebody I want to take a look at. Okay, Rortvert. These guys are all super cheap. You could pay up at pitching, do whatever you want. You could fuck around your Baltimore stack. What about Minnesota? We talk about how Minnesota today just looks very good in the research sheets. They're going up against J.P. Sears, who seems like he's just a sieve to right-handed power. You're going to want Royce Lewis in this lineup, so if you want to find a way to get him in, you can. I get he's got these numbers here, but he's just on a fucking tear. But yeah, you could play Margot, Buxton. You could play Jeffers down there if you want to. You have a lot of flexibility if you start with two pitchers today that are not expensive, that do project very well for their salary. Yeah, let's even build maybe a little bit more of an expensive one. So we'll put O'Hearn in the outfield. Let's get off your eyes and let's put Rutschman in. Let's just see something. Oh, no, maybe not as great as you thought. Cleveland lefties, we said we liked a lot too, right? Naylor, Ramirez, Kwan. Yeah, so Cleveland's a little too expensive. What if we dropped Kwan and we went to Brennan? A lot better. Now you have a 4-3, and you can go pick off Bo Naylor if you want to make it a 4-4. 3, 4, 5, 7 correlates. You want to take Marchand as a one-off. Be my guest. But yeah, that's maybe the route I would go today if I'm starting with Baltimore. Let's say I'm starting with Philly. Turner, Castellanos, Sosa, Schwarber. So yeah, these numbers are sick. I think Philly's gonna just fucking rake today. Again, I would start with Eflin. Let's say with Philly, we want to go. Let's follow the sheets. Castellanos. Let's take a look one more time. Arizona. Tommy Henry. Yeah, Tommy Henry against lefties not good. Against righties not good. A lot of power. Not K'ing people. Yeah, I would attack on both sides of the plate, no problem. Seems like the right-handed hitters seem to have a better split here. Still stack everybody, but it's just something to really note. But let's follow the sheet. So there, we'll do. We can't play Sosa and Turner together, okay? But Let's do what we talk about. Let's put that catcher in. Let's put Schwarber. Boom. Let's start here. 4,600 left. Let's say I want to. Let's say, Jay, I really want to play some Bailey Ober today. Okay, leaves you with 3,300 left. Even when you're putting some cheaper pieces of the stack in, you still should just pay down today. It's just the way it is. Let's say we want to go John Gray here, 3,800. Okay, what can we play in this little mini that maybe can get us to where we want to get to? I know Miami looked decent as a mini. Josh Bell, Otto Lopez, Jesus Sanchez, done. You want to play Jazz Chisholm? Done. You could do a lot here with these mini stacks. I know I said I really like Baltimore. What if you went O'Hearn, Colton Cowser, and then you have a little 3,900 here. You want to make it 2-man. Caballero looked very, very good in the sheets. Lowe looked good in the sheets. Maybe that's the way you want to go. What if I want to play Harper, who's more expensive? I know I keep liking Baltimore, but Urias, Westberg, Cowser. You just made a really, really good lineup right there by doing that with upside in pieces and bats that are in advantageous matchups. So that's a little bit about how I would build that. If you have any questions, please let me know. Best of luck today, and let's go cash.